Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, HHM Lifestyle. Thank you so much for tuning in. So excited you're here. It is the midst of winter, so we are talking all about kids and colds. So if you guys have little ones that have ever had a cold or they've ever been sick and you have no idea what to give them or do, this is the video for you. So stay tuned. All right, so let's dive right in. Guys, it's cold outside and it's cold season. I don't know about you, but all right, I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old little boy. My 3-year-old is in preschool. Other than that, my mother and father, their grandparents babysit. We're very, very blessed and lucky. There's no daycare. So the only outside interaction she gets is basically her preschool, and then she does like a dance class for like a half hour. Guys, I've never had my kids sick this much. I've tested them for every time for COVID. It's not COVID. I've never had them get sick this much. This year is just crazy for sickness. I don't know if you have experienced this with your kids, but the amount of colds that my daughter especially has had, honestly, it's like January. She's legit been sick since September. It's insane. I cannot keep these children healthy. So in the past like 3-4 months, I've just become like an expert on medicine to give them. So disclaimer, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a pharmacist, so I'm very familiar with over-the-counter medications and dosages, but I am not a medical doctor. I am not giving you medical advice. I'm not telling you exactly what to do. I am telling you what has worked for my children, so maybe this can help you with your children. So usually what happens is my daughter gets sick, and then a couple days later my son gets sick with the same thing. So it's legit like a week to 2 weeks of them both being snotty, coughy messes. Usually what happens is it starts in their nose and then it travels into their chest. What you want to try to prevent, especially with kids, is it lingering in their chest. They're little and they can't cough up that nasty mucus like we can, so it just sits in there. When it sits in there for too long, that's when things like pneumonia and all the really scary things can happen. So the biggest thing to think about is when they get sick is you want to try to prevent that mucus from just sitting in their chest. You don't want that in there. It's obviously a little different between my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old because 2 and under is really hard to give medications for. They're little. They're usually lower in weight. It's very hard. They're really limited with what you can do. But I'm going to start with my 1-year-old. So the first thing you want to do when they obviously get a cold, and this is a cold. This isn't COVID. This isn't like crazy high fever. This is a cold with no fever or very low grade fever that maybe lasts in the beginning, but just a cold, nothing else that's like crazy serious. You want to try to just clear out their little noses. So my favorite product is the Saline nose drops. This is a little Remedies one. You can really get any saline. You want saline that is basically like a saltwater rinse. You want to rinse out their nasal passages, and do this in the older kids too, but really in the little kids, you want to clear out their noses. You want to get that mucus just loosened up and just get it cleared out. So the nasal saline drops work really good. They have like a mist spray you can do too. They're gonna fight you. They're gonna fight you, but you just have to do it. So saline, and it's completely safe for 2 and under. So saline is your go-to for your 2 and under kids. Along with that becomes all of our favorite thing to do. You gotta suck it out, guys. You gotta do the dirty. You're the mom. If you're not gonna do it, who's gonna do it? You have to suck out the mucus. There's no glamorous way to do it. They have the little bulbs. I'm gonna show you my favorite product. It's this thing. I know what you're thinking. I know that's gross. I know. But you have to suck out the snot from their little noses because they can't blow it out. So it comes with filters. Don't worry. They all have filters. So fear not. There's filters. You clear it out with saline. You put the bulb in their nose and you squeeze it and you suck. You suck it out. It's not going to get in your mouth. It's going to collect in here. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. But you're the mom, you gotta clear the snot from their nose. So you can do this with older kids too, but definitely 2 and under. My 1-year-old, I cleared out with saline, do the bulb, suck each side. Do that every couple hours, a couple times a day, and it will help just clear up the congestion, because it's tough when they're little. When they're that congested, they can't breathe, they can't use their pacifier, they can't take a bottle, and they're miserable. Another thing you can do, which I do for my 1-year-old, he's about 25 pounds. I give him a quarter to a half a teaspoon of Claritin or Zyrtec. So that's my opinion. It is definitely safe for that weight. I've talked it over with the pediatrician as well. If he's really bad, I'll usually do a quarter teaspoon of Zyrtec in the morning and in the evening, or just do a half a teaspoon at once. But I like Zyrtec a little better than Claritin. Sometimes it works a little better at the congestion. My recommendation is to not use Benadryl. I know Benadryl is usually given to little kids too, but Benadryl can actually suppress a cough, and you want the little kids to cough. You want them to try to cough up the mucus, and what's going to happen is they're going to throw up. They're going to cough, and they're going to make themselves gag, and they're going to throw up. It's going to be disgusting, but you want that. You want them to throw up that nasty mucus because they can't cough it up. So I would stay away from the Benadryl, because that might suppress the cough, and you don't want to do that, because remember, we don't want the mucus in the chest. We want to get it up. 2 and under, saline drops as much as you can, and a little like Zyrtec, quarter teaspoon to a half teaspoon. Baby Vicks is also a product I really like. Make sure you're getting the baby Vicks. So there's a difference between regular Vicks and like baby Vicks. You need the baby Vicks. Kids 2 and under cannot have the menthol vapors. It can actually constrict their airway. So do not use adult Vicks. Has to say baby Vicks. It's basically like lavender or whatever, but it still helps soothe. I think the vapors still help just keep them comfortable. So I like to do that at night. And they also make some homeopathic cough medicine if it gets really, really bad. I don't always go to this, but if it's really bad where he isn't sleeping at all because the cough is so bad, they do make, and it's all natural homeopathic, it'll specifically say for under 2, and it's like cough medicine, and it's basically like herbs and things like that. There's no actual medication in it. You want to stay away from honey. I know a lot of the cough medications that I'll show you that I use for my daughter have honey. You want to stay away from that if they're under 2. Kids under 2 cannot have honey because there's a risk of them getting botulism. So they cannot have honey. They don't have the digestive properties in order to digest it properly. So no honey products. If you have to, get some of the under 2 homeopathic type cough medication just to give at night to help them sleep. Like I said, you don't want to do it all the time because you don't want to suppress that cough. And the biggest thing to do at night is a vaporizer. So there's a difference between a vaporizer and a humidifier. Humidifiers are great all year long. They keep the air humid, moist. But vaporizers are great when you have a cold because it's that hot steam. And that's what you want because that's going to loosen up all the phlegm and all the mucus too. So make sure you have a vaporizer in their room. You want lots and lots of steam. I've sat with my son in front of the steam before to help just break things up. It's really, really soothing for him. Sit by a hot shower if you don't have a vaporizer, just for the steam. So 2 and under, saline drops are your best friend. A little like Zyrtec Claritin, just something to dry up the nose. And then the vaporizer Baby Vicks to just kind of soothe the cough congestion. So that's for 2 and under. And if they get a really high fever, or they've had it for more than 10 days, or they get that really croupy cough, that's when it's time to call the doctor. Never hesitate to call the doctor if you're unsure, but if you are like 100% positive it's just a cold, these are your go-to things. For my daughter, she is older, so she's 3, and she weighs about 35 pounds now, so there's more things that she can use. So I do the same thing. So I do saline and I do Zyrtec. I just bump up her dose. So I give her a full teaspoon, and I will either do half and half or a full teaspoon in the morning. Again, pediatrician said it's completely safe, so I give her a full teaspoon for her weight. Same thing with her. Still do the vaporizer, and I still use the Baby Vicks with her. Just put it on their chest, even on their back. It just really helps soothe them, especially at night. Prop the pillows up, prop the kids up on pillows. That'll help with the cough. So the biggest thing with my daughter was the cough. She couldn't get, the cough to be under control. And yes, she would definitely gag and spit up the mucus, but it was intense at some points. So a couple of things that I want to show you that I use for her. Again, these are like homeopathic things. But I love the Zarbees. I don't know if you can. So there is like a cough syrup, and then here is it's like a nighttime cough syrup. These are Zarbees. These are honey products. So because she's over 2, it's safe for her to use honey products, and the honey really helps just coat the throat, soothe the throat, and help control that cough. I really like the nighttime one. It just seems to help calm it down. Again, I'm not saying I want to suppress her cough completely, because you don't want that mucus sitting in there, but especially at night when they just can't sleep. You need sleep in order to get better, and it's really hard when little kids are up for every single half hour coughing. So those are just a couple things you can use at nighttime to help control the cough so they can sleep. Again, prop them up on the pillows so they don't, just being up higher just helps with the cough as well. When you're down flat and you're laying flat, that can make the coughing worse. So those are my go-to products for when kids have colds. And like I said, monitor their symptoms, monitor their temperatures. If at any point they spike a fever and, 101, 102, or you notice their mucus becoming really thick and yellow or green. Whenever you see yellow or green, those are signs that there's an infection of some sort. So if you see those colors, it's always like a red flag. Fever, colored mucus, or if they've had the symptoms for, I'd say, 10 days or more, then it might be time to call the doctor and get them on an antibiotic. I try to push that to the last possible second, but there have been a couple times where I've had to call the doctor and get the kids on an antibiotic. I will tell you, make sure you're doing some sort of probiotic as well if they have to be on an antibiotic so little. They make kids probiotics you can use. I'm a fan of the kids Florigen. They come in capsules. I'll usually open a capsule, put a little in my daughter's milk, a little in my son's, and it just helps keep the healthy bacteria in their gut. Any antibiotic that you're on, remember, is going to kill all the bacteria, even the good stuff, and we need the good stuff in our guts, especially in the little kids' guts. And there's actually been research showing that probiotics can help with immune systems as well. So it can really help a good immune system if you have really healthy gut bacteria. So it might be a good idea to keep giving the kids a probiotic if they keep getting sick, like my kids. But it's just the way of the world right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. These kids were home for a whole year, quarantined, and they weren't exposed to anything. So of course, the second that they're around something, they're gonna get sick. So it's tough. It's not easy when kids are sick. Hopefully these are just a couple things that can help you guys get through, the illness. And another thing I want to show you are these are little syringes that are great for measuring out medication. I love these so much more than like the bulbs or the cup. They're way more accurate. And a little tip, these are in most of your local pharmacies. Just go ask the pharmacist for a syringe for the medication. They might charge for it. Sometimes we just hand them out. I promise you, your pharmacies have this. You can definitely buy them on like Amazon, but go see your pharmacist. Be like, hey, do you have any like teaspoon syringes I can purchase or I can get for my kids' medication? Way easier to use. You draw it up, very accurate. Put it right in their mouth. Much easier than like the cup or the little syringe bulb. So yeah, these are my go-to. So definitely ask. Here's like a little close-up of it. It's just a little syringe, a little teaspoon syringe. So go ask your pharmacies for those. But I hope your kids are staying healthy. If there's anything you guys do that seems to help, definitely drop in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys do. Remember, saline and steam are your friends when it comes to this, and never hesitate to call the doctor if you think it's something more serious. It's always better to get them checked out. Better safe than sorry. But if it's just your standard cold, then hopefully some of these things can help you guys. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and Keep all those little ones healthy. I hope they stay healthy for the rest of the cough and cold and flu season. And we will talk soon. Stay happy, healthy moms. Bye, guys.